Yes, Jesus. Whew. Hey guys, and welcome to Little Black Book. We're here with a live. We're gonna be on with Ready to Love's Adriana. She's in the background, guys. She's here. She's in the background. We're just giving her a bit of time. And I thought I'd introduce myself, bring myself to the forefront for you guys. Do you get me? So, you guys have been asking me some murder up questions to ask Adriana. So, I compiled a few questions. So we're gonna ask her some real stuff. Still, if you are here in the chat, please do like the video, please do like the live, share this with somebody, a friend, you know what I'm saying? And let's have a real conversation. You know how I do. Okay, we're gonna ask some really open-ended questions. That means Denise, we're gonna ask about it. We're gonna ask about Rashied. We're gonna ask about Kafani. Okay, and we're gonna ask about her experience on the show as well. Because what we really want to do is get a deeper understanding of Adriana. So, guys, again, please do me a favor. Please like this live. Say it's good for the optics, it's good for the analytics, and also as well, leave some questions in the comment section. So, if you've got questions now, leave the questions in there because I will see them hopefully, and then I can ask her on the show as we're doing as well. So, I want to just kind of say this open. I was talking with Adriana in the background, and we spoke a little bit about the situation with the Denise. So y'all know I got to ask some real questions about it. Yes, Damiola, thank you, appreciate you. Elaine, appreciate you as well. Vanessa, shout out, baby. Michael, I see you as well. Guys, you don't know Michael from Put a Ring on It. It's also here. He's amazing, good friend as well. I appreciate him, man. Big bro, I call him. Someone, I'm teasing you guys. I promise you, she's about to I want to give her that entrance. You know what I'm saying, guys? I'm gonna give her that entrance now. But I want to get you guys in. I need to get you guys in. So she's gonna be here in a second. Don't worry, she's gonna be in a second. So just keep the comments coming. Vanessa said, I want to know, did Adriana go on a date with Anthony? I don't know. We'll have to ask that question. Vanessa. I mean, Vanessa, would you go on a date with Anthony? That's the question we need to ask ourselves. Would you go on a date with Anthony? Is he your type? That's the question you got to ask. Is he your type? Elaine said, I didn't think he would actually do it. Killed me. Yo, that scene where Rashied is talking to the couch. Bruv, my soul. Like, yo, man actually spoke to the couch, Like, and you guys know I've got my review ready to go. I've already filmed it. So if you thought I was doing a lot last time with the Naya situation, you already know I'm gonna talk about the Naya situation on the next review because it's gonna get mad. You know what I'm saying? Because it was, listen, the way she exited, she said she had a boyfriend. She said she said a whole lot of stuff, fam. We'll deal with that another time. I can see Adriana's ready pretty much now. But yeah, there was a lot going on last night's episode, guys. I didn't even sleep. That's how mad it's been. I didn't even sleep. I watched that. I watched Put a Ring on It. It was mad, man. It was mad. All right, cool. I can see Adriana's ready in the background. You know what I'm saying? She all smiling and stuff. So I'm gonna bring her on so we can have a conversation. I hope you guys are ready. Make sure you guys leave the likes on there, You get me? Coach, that was not a trip about now. Listen. All right, cool. Let's bring on Adriana. Let's have the conversation. Let's get talking about Ready to Love. Yes. Hold on a minute. The way you're holding the thing, yeah? Did it not work?
No, I couldn't figure it out.
It didn't work.
I was like, okay, whatever.
Well, girl, you better rest that on well, Rest that on well, okay?
Y'all gonna see me moving around.
You're gonna be doing yeah. You're gonna have to do some spins for us, man. Do you know what I'm saying? But I really appreciate you, Adriana, for coming on here and wanting to have a conversation with myself and the audience, and giving us your side of events that happen at Ready to Love. I guess I want to ask you. Go for it.
Before we get started, I really appreciate you. Like, there's so many
thank you.
bloggers and vloggers and people that have opinions, and sometimes some people, it's not about the opinions, it's the ones who intend to hurt us. Not just me, everyone, and just you have valid opinions and you back it up. And sometimes when I watch did I do that? Like, oh, maybe that is something for me, or maybe that is why I do that, you know? And it just makes me even think deeper into myself. So I just really appreciate you and
I
your
appreciate
talent.
it, man. Thank you. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. Ain't she gorgeous, guys? Ain't she gorgeous? I love my girlfriend, but isn't she gorgeous, guys?
Gotta
I'm
put
gonna
the
put that in
disclaimer in
there.
there. Hey.
You know what I mean? I don't want nobody dead out here. You know what I'm saying?
No problem.
But I guess obviously before we talk about Ready to Love, we want to get to know you. So if I ask this question, who is Adriana? Who is Adriana?
I don't know. I'm just me. Like I'm a very caring person. I'm definitely an empath. Like I feel other people's vibes, and I'm always trying to help and do the most. But I'm definitely still like a big. I'm an analytical thinker, so I'm always thinking of the next thing. I think a lot, and so I'm always trying to do everything and just be the best person that I can in all elements, So that's where, like I said, with the cheerleading, like just trying it and doing it, I moved to LA at one point just by myself. I'm like, I want to go do it. Like, I just think I could take over the world, and anyone can. So I'm always trying things and just put myself out there. So this is me.
Love that. Love that. Where does that competitive? Because you've got a bit of a competitive streak in you. Where does that competitive streak come from?
I really don't know. I don't know what it is. I've just always been that way. Like even when I was a kid, like I was just always like, if the guy, even with guys, like they say they can run fast. I'm like, oh well, let's race then. Like I don't know what I did play sports. My mom had me more so do like modeling and things like that when I was a kid. So maybe secretly on the inside, I had like built up competitive. And then I'm like, okay, well, I need to get it out some kind of way. So whether it's in smarts or physical or whatever it may be, it's just always been a part of me.
Love that. Love that. And does that competitive spirit kind of like go into your day-to-day work as well? I mean, I don't know what you actually do, but I don't know if you can tell us what you do.
I do a lot of things, but my main job, I do real estate, starting a business and different things, a water company and different things too. But no, I think it only comes out in certain. It depends on the environment. Like I'm not one of those that's like, oh, I have to do everything, first, or I have to be first in everything. It just depends on the environment. If any other time, I'm super chill and I'm just like, it's whatever. Like I'm. So, yeah.
Love that. I love that. So obviously you do quite a bit as well. So you said you about real estate, you do other things along the side as well. How did you find the time to take time out to do Ready to Love?
Quarantine. We had all the time. Everything got canceled. The world got canceled. So luckily it worked out, and that's why I was like, well, I mean, I am single, so let's see what's going on. I wasn't really doing too much else at that time because, like I said, I couldn't. The real estate market was actually, it got better once I got back because interest rates were so low out here in Houston. Yeah. But at the time, I was so afraid of losing their jobs and different things that it wasn't moving. And then like all my side jobs, the cities were closed down. As far as starting a company, a lot of our shipping and stuff was overseas. That was shut down. So it's like I couldn't do anything anyway.
I love that. I love that. We'll have to get you on the channel so you can come and educate us, so we can also get involved in the real estate game. You get me? Oh,
hey, you know what I'm saying?
I'm trying to get on that. You feel me?
For sure.
All right, I hear that. I hear that. How have you found the dating scene then? For you, you said obviously you're single. How have you found the dating scene down there?
Well, I'm single, so not too good. For me, and it's kind of like what I said on the first like episode or whatever, is that what I've run into, and it may be the type of guys that I've been talking to, they kind of feel like they're the prize. Like, so they're like, they want me to do something to stand out to them, and it's like if anything, like, and I'm not even saying the woman has to be fully the prize. It can be both of us, but don't come in like, oh, well, what you gonna do for me? Or, so we about to go to the bed. I just paid for dinner, so we about to go home. No, like, what do you mean? Like they just expect a lot. But yeah, I don't know. I always say the good ones are taken out here in Houston, but I don't know. Because once I got on the show, I just knew I was going to know everybody on there, and I didn't. Like, I only knew Rashied. So it was like, well, that shows, there's maybe I'm in the wrong circles or not putting myself out there. But he's supposed to find me, so it's not me.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, so the DMs are open, yeah?
The DMs may or may not be open.
Could be.
On the show. You try to get it up.
I just, I'll just throw a little curveball just for you, just one in it. I won't do any more curveball. I'm gonna leave it at that. All right, cool. So, what made you go on to Ready to Love? Were you scouted, or did you like apply to go on the show?
They reached out to me on Instagram, but it was just like the flyer saying that they were like doing the casting for it and to like try it. Like they thought that I would be a good fit. And so it's a lot of steps and a lot, especially like with the COVID and everything going on, it was a lot of steps and it was a long process to get on there. Different interviews, we had to do like, a lot to get there. But I honestly, I didn't even think of it until they did it. And I had another friend of mine, she sent me the flyer too and wanted me to try out. And I was just like, I don't want to do that. Like, it's not really my vibe, whatever. But then whenever they DM me too, I was like, well, maybe I'm not doing nothing else. Let's just see what happens. I won't lose anything, So it ended up working out.
So yours was like on the fly, on the spur kind of thing. It wasn't necessarily anything that was drawing you towards a show.
No, and I've watched it, but I never was like, oh, I want to be on there. It was just like, okay, it was just cool to watch. But also, this is their first time in Houston, so it was really a thought for it to be a thing.
So what was your kind of expectations once you've gone through all the trials and tribulations of doing everything? What was your expectation when you stepped foot on that resort?
I don't really know if I had any. I tried to go in just because, like I said, I can be an overthinker. So I tried to go in and just let everything just flow and whatever happens, happens. And so I wouldn't get in my head because sometimes, if you do that, you won't be your authentic self. And I wanted to make sure I was that in so that way I could build connections with people. And also so I wouldn't, if you go in like, oh, if a guy looks like this, because that's what I'm going for. You're closing off potential connections, and closing off your mind. And I just wanted to be open-minded to the whole process.
I appreciate that. So let me ask my first dangerous question.
Oh, yeah.
When you went in there, did you have a game plan? Because I think if you watch reviews, I said game plan. Yeah, you came in there, you knew you came with guns, shots, bullets, you came loaded like Rambo, you had bullets for everybody. So did you come into that with some type of game plan?
No. But what I will say, and that's what I said when I watch the video, sometimes I'm like, maybe it's in the back of my mind and I don't know it. Did I go in intentionally like, oh, I'm gonna go like this and I'm gonna do this? No, not at all. Even once I, like after the meeting everyone, I didn't think like that. But I did go in confident in a sense of I'm gonna just be me, and either they're gonna like it or they're not. And that's all I can do. I can't control how somebody feels about me. I can't control their emotions. All I can control is me. So that's what I did.
I hear that. And there's a question here from Vanessa, which I actually really like, because I want to ask it to you. Okay. It's not very difficult. She says, do you feel the women are encouraged more to approach the men on the show?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I said it a few times on the show that I felt like the men weren't being as aggressive. Okay. And they kind of like had like this bro code in a sense, even because since like, I don't know, now I'm seeing, of course, in the tavern, some of the conversation, but I still don't even know, everything that the guys talked about. But even kind of like with the Chris and Naya situation, you heard Rashied say like, oh, well, Chris was confessing his love. So in turn, the guy's like, okay, well, I won't really talk to her, Okay. And so it was kind of just like in that we're on the flip side, like, well, in our mind, like, man, I really do want to get to know him, but he's not coming over and talking to me. So what do I do? Me being aggressive or whatever in a sense, I'm like, when I saw we'll get to that, of course, but when I saw Calfani, I was like, well, hey, look here, because some of me that since me and Rashied already had a connection and clearly still picked it up there, that they didn't want to talk to me because they didn't want to step on Rashied's toes. But I'm like, that's what we're here for. You can't, and you can't do that. And so you may be potentially missing out on something else. So I do think that the women just in us, because I feel like all the women knew what we were there for, and knew that we wanted love and knew what we wanted, that we kind of just naturally was like, hey, like, we're here, come talk, whatever. So yeah.
Do you feel like that reflects the dating scene where you are, though, that women are having to be a bit more ostentatious and having to go up to men and approach?
Ostentatious, I like that word. Yes, I definitely actually do think so. I feel like, I don't know when it happened. I'm not saying all guys are like that and all women are like that. True. But I do see a shift starting to happen, you know, where it was like, if you go, you know, back in the day, the men, you know, they come knock on your door, come ask your parents, or, you know, whatever the case may be, like, hey, will you go out and me check the box, yes or no, or whatever the case may be. And I feel like we're slowly like veering against that, and it's more the women being the aggressors. Like, I was even talking to my mom, and she's in her 50s, a guy that she was talking to, and he was equating how much she called him to how much she liked him. And she's like, what, how does that, you know, like he would say, oh, I'll call you back, but wouldn't call her back. And then he's like, well, you should have called me. But you didn't call me, so that means you don't like me. And it's like, how is this, even in the 50s, like I don't understand. Like, you two
something in the water, something in the water.
So I do see a shift happening. Like I said, I don't think all are like that, but I do see where women are having to step up more to put themselves out there.
Wow. I mean, for yourself though, are you a bit more of a traditionalist in the way that you like relationships, to the relationship dynamic? As in, do you want the man to definitely approach that how you prefer it, or do you want a bit of mix of both, or do you think you can just, hey, whatever fits the boat? I
would prefer it, you know, but like I said, obviously I'm not afraid of going for what I want and who I want, but at the same time, of course, it'll be some extra points comes up to me and, you know, he's spitting the game or whatever, you know, I'm really trying, you know, so that would definitely be a plus.
Let me throw a curveball question, or a dangerous question. Someone got voted off for saying 50-50. I'm not gonna say I don't want that situation, but I want to know your opinion on 50-50. For you, 50-50, when you hear that term, tell me what that makes you think of. When you hear me say, oh, 50-50.
It's hard. It's hard because for me, it's not like, when I hear 50-50, like I literally hear 50-50, like you want to split everything down the middle, and that's what we're doing. And it's like, to me, whenever we're together, especially if we're talking marriage, like the man is supposed to be the leader, and he wants to act as the leader of the house. So then to me, you kind of get in this gray area of, are you still the leader of the house if we're splitting everything, or we're doing everything 50-50? You know, I could see that being an issue, you know, down the line in an argument or something. But for me, I feel like it shouldn't, like if a man handles it, like say it's 100% of the mortgage or whatever, naturally a woman would gravitate to, okay, well, hey babe, I got these part of the bills, I got the utilities or whatever, or maybe her contribution away, I got the food, you know, I'm gonna take care of all the groceries, I got this, you know, there's other ways to contribute than just monetary, you know what I'm saying?
I get you.
So
I get you.
Yeah.
No, I hear that. That's how to ask that question, because it's been hotly contested amongst us audience members. You know what I mean? And obviously, a certain person got voted off for that, so we had to just kind of.
But okay, so side note, I may be a little biased, just my 2 cents on the situation. Me and Naya like really got along, and she was like my spirit animal. I love her so much. Her personality is amazing, and like I feel like y'all couldn't really see how amazing she is. And I do understand it because she does hair for a living, and she already had 4 miscarriages, so she's not going to be able to be on her feet. So that's what it was kind of like, hey, no, like she never said, oh, I want you to take care of it the whole time or whatever. But like she said, like, I need to know that if they are blessed with a child, that the bills are taken care of, that she's not still out here trying to handle everything. You know what I'm saying? So, and you know, it's not a game, but we are supposed to build other connections.
I agree.
So it's not fair to just blame completely, oh, well, it's Naya's fault that he went home. It's also his fault because he didn't have a connection with anyone else. You know? And I personally, whenever we vote, I don't think they showed it, but whenever we voted, I did vote for Chris to go home because I didn't have a connection with him.
Okay.
So it was kind of like, you know, whatever. So he still lost him too. I'm just, you know, it was a lot of heat on Naya, and it's like, hey, she's not bad.
I hope we can get on the show because I think there's a lot of people who have got opinions.
So great. Y'all can see her personality. She's so great. She's awesome.
I hear that. I ain't got no beef with her still, but yeah, the reviews still. Yeah.
Don't beef with her. She gonna come. Don't do it.
I mean, hopefully we can get on the show. You know what I mean? We can get her viewpoint. You know what I mean? So hopefully get Chris too. Okay, so let's get into a little bit deeper then. So, I mean, you've obviously made some good connections with Rashied and Kafani. I guess obviously apart from those two, was there anybody else up until episode 7, please. So we don't want no spoilers here. But was there anybody else that you felt like you were having a connection with in any way?
No, I stay consistently with my two. I mean, I tried, like, there's of course I had interactions with everyone to try to, see if something was there, but it wasn't. It was more like just friend vibes, and I was just really cool with everyone else.
Okay, so no one else. Okay, so your two was the main two. Rashied. Okay, so you made a comment in the tavern. You said Rashied is my man. You said Rashied is my man, and Kafani's my side piece. You know what I'm saying? I thought it was quite funny. Obviously, what made you say that Rashied was your man? I know you don't actually mean that, but what was making Rashied the lead in you know what I'm saying?
Right, and I think I said it in one of the confessionals. I may not have, but it was a thing of, I felt comfortable with it. And we need to talk about, hold on, we're going to talk about something right quick.
Go on, sis. All right, listen, do your thing. I'm here.
Yes, so the ghosting thing. Okay. So
yeah, I was going to ask you, but go on, sis.
I'm going to bring it here. So the ghosting thing. So one, obviously, because people are like, oh, she's not attracted to him. Obviously, I was attracted to him if I went on a date with him in the first place in real life. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't have wasted either one of our times, and vice versa. You know what I'm saying? To go on a date with him if I wasn't attracted to him. I definitely think that he's attractive. And the date went well. Now, when I said ghosting, it may have been the wrong wording, but I meant it more so in a sense of, like at first when it's like, oh, you're like texting us, oh, good morning, beautiful, good morning, handsome. And it's, the most, and then we go on the date. Afterward, I kind of pulled myself away. We still like had a little small talk, and we both kind of pulled away, but it was more so just of the timing thing. Like he literally was out of a 12-year relationship, 10-year marriage. I was out of it was like 2.5-year relationship. And it was like, both of us were like a month fresh out. So, and even when it came up in conversation in the date, it was like both of it, like it was kind of like the awkward silence afterward, like, well, dang, maybe we, and I think it was enough respect that we both had for each other that we didn't want it to turn into just a rebound situation or complete where we could potentially not like each other afterward, So it wasn't like a ghosting, like, oh, afterward he walked me to my car and that was it. Phone never, hit up again. It was just, it wasn't the same energy, but I would say it was on both of our parts, and it was, whatever. So seeing each other now, 2 years later, a lot can happen in 2 years.
That's true.
It is kind of like, well, dang, did like the universe bring us back together? Is this like our second chance? You know what I'm saying? So I did like feel like comfortable with him, because we are on the resort, away from everything. They like had our phones and our computers, so we had no communication with the outside world. It was literally just so we could focus on love and everyone there. So in that, it's kind of a uncomfortable situation in a sense, just because it's out of our comfort zone. We're way out here, we're out there. And so seeing a familiar face, did kind of make me gravitate to him first, because it's like, oh, okay, I already know him. Like, okay, this is,
that makes easy, in a new place.
And so, like, when I said it, yes, I was joking. I literally was like, well, I'm always laughing, but I laughed and I called Connie the side piece. Like, I would never, like, call him side piece like that. That's, whatever. But it was a joke. And, but that was my number one and number two. Like, that was my way of saying that. And so, but that that turned into a whole thing. But yeah.
So,
but I think you're going to bring it back.
For you and Rashied, okay, so what qualities of Rashied did he have that made you feel attracted to him then?
Besides, so normally, like, even if you go physical, I'm tall, I'm 5'11". So normally the tall guy,
cool girl.
Yeah. The tallest guy, no, not at all. The tallest guy in the room, I'm automatically usually gravitating that way, because it's like, hey, because I'm a tall woman. But also it's just like he's fun, and even throughout the whole process, he's just so much fun, and is like a friend vibe, and not in a negative way, not like, oh, I just look at him as a friend. It's like, to me, that's the foundation of a relationship. Like, you want to be able to have a friendship in your relationship. Like, I call him for everything, or I can talk to him about whatever, and have a real honest conversation without any judgment or anything like that. And I feel like that's the connection that I have with Rashied.
That's what I know what you mean. I know what you mean, sis. Don't worry, I got you.
Well, it's hard now because it's like the you know, this, y'all are seeing the show now, but
Yeah.
you know, we filmed this before, so it's just I'm trying to talk. I'm talking in past tense because what are y'all seeing? But it's not.
I understand.
But yeah.
I understand. Okay, cool. So there's some good qualities there that Rashied had. Okay, so
No, for sure. He's a great guy. Like he's fun, and like I said, it's like the just being able to have fun, being honest, just open communication. Just he has a lot of great qualities. That's also. Or go ahead, I'll let you get to it.
No. I was just going.
I'll go on
No,
a whole rant.
no. Go on, please. I was just going.
Okay,
I'm listening.
and that's also why I felt away whenever Denise said the narcissist comment, regardless of if she said he was a narcissist or had not traits or whatever the case may be. If you notice in the tavern, none of the women say anything negative about Rashied until she says that. And what y'all didn't see, he, like, that day at the tavern, Simone actually had Rashied in her top, and Alex had Rashied in her top, and now you get to see it on the last episode where he got to go on dates with them as well. And so they had them in their top too. So then whenever she says that, all of a sudden, you know, and then Winter makes her comment about, you know, the Nordstrom's thing, and then it turns into a thing. But it's just like, to me, if it was you're looking out for me and it was a sister girl moment, then she would have pulled me to the side like, hey girl, like I see you feeling him, but maybe you should like watch out because he does have these traits and this is why I feel this way. Instead, you say it in the tavern and you see people's faces change, people's opinions change, and that's not him, because even if they didn't say anything, in the back of their mind, it's something there. And there was a conversation that me, Simone, and Alex had afterward that y'all didn't get to see, where it was just like, well, dang, are we tripping? Like, we didn't even notice anything. You know what I'm saying? And it made us, even me, question myself, like, you know what I'm saying, in reference to him. And I just felt like that wasn't fair to him to use such a heavy word. Like, if you want to say, you know, cocky, or you want to say he's full of himself, whatever, say that. That's fine. And I wouldn't say nothing like it. Okay, that was your opinion. That's cool. But to put such a heavy word on it, and then on top of that, not being able to explain it, it was just that rubbed me the wrong way.
Describe for me when she started describing narcissism. Take us through the thought process of what was going through your mind.
Confusion. As I also think it was going through like other people's mind, and even Tommy. That's why Tommy was like, okay, so based off of what you just said, that fits me. So I don't, you know, I don't understand. And so to me, that was her chance to defend it. Like, because it's not the fact of her saying it. I'm not saying that like, oh, don't say that, don't have an opinion, blah, blah, blah. It's not that. It's when you had the chance to even explain why you said what you said, then you said, oh, you're tall, light-skinned, and you're in a frat. And you don't, and even still, like, you don't see a problem with it. Like, that's the disconnect that I'm having. Because it's like, it's not like, you know, you say, oh, well, he's full of himself, he never thinks that he's wrong, you know, he seemed kind of aggressive, he said, you know, you go into the actual definition of narcissism, but instead you did physical things that have nothing to do with it. That was just where the disconnect was for me, and potentially tainting his image in the other woman's eyes. That was a problem.
Yeah, I think I agree that, because I think when I did reviews, I was saying that if you can't explain it and you explain something else, you've brought confusion, because and narcissism is a very heavy word. You can't take narcissism very lightly. Like you said, you can say cocky, you can say arrogant, you can say those kind of things, but if you say narcissist, we've got to be able to articulate what it actually means. And then the things that were actually labeled were very physical attributes. And again, I mean, I don't know Rashied that well, but if you're going to label it, you're going to label it correctly. Those things were physical stuff which you can't control: his height, his skin tone, and he's okay, the frat maybe, but other than that, it wasn't something that he controls.
What's the relevance of it? Like, I don't get it. So that was where the disconnect came in with that part.
Okay,
and so also whenever you see me, because I told you I'm going to rant.
Listen, no, it's good. My microphone fell. No, I wasn't saying that. Go on. You're right.
Okay.
We happy for you to talk, sis. Don't worry about that. Go on.
When people didn't like the fact that I brought it up at the pool in front of everyone, or it was just Edwin, Rashied, and Simone, it wasn't a thing. Like, like I said, Simone felt away too. And me and Simone had a conversation previous to that and said that we would talk
Okay,
about
so you
it.
discussed with Denise before that pool stuff.
No, Denise.
Oh.
Simone. Yeah.
Oh, Simone. Okay.
Simone. Because like I said, after the tavern, me, Simone, and Alex was like, we was questioning ourselves, in the whole thing. And it was like, yeah, that rubbed me the wrong way. So whenever I sit down with them, like Simone chimed in too, and she felt away too. It's like, yeah, I don't understand. And then you're saying light skin, and Simone's light skin. So it's just like, wait, what are you saying? And then that's why it turned into the colorism conversation, because it's like, you still said, like, regardless of if it was, you said traits or not traits or whatever, you still said light skin in your description of narcissist. That's still what you said, period. That's there. So it's like to say, oh, it's not a colorism thing. Well, why did you say it? It is that, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, so maybe Edwin was an extra person and it should have just been me, Simone, and Rashied or whatever. But it wasn't, intentional to get her kicked off and whatever. Like, it was to defend him because I felt like he deserved it. And to even find out. Now, if Rashied would have been like, when I asked him, what has his experience been with Denise thus far, if he would have been like, oh, we didn't click, like, she whack or whatever, something like that, like, hey, well, maybe you need to go talk to her and see what's up, because right now she's I would have gave him the same energy that I was trying to give her whenever we later talked about it. But yeah, like, no, I think she's great. Everything's cool. He's literally oblivious to the whole thing. So yeah, but I will say too.
God.
Did I want her to go at?
That's what I was about to ask that.
Yes, but that was not. It wasn't because of the narcissist thing. It was just because it was a lot of slick comments made, and y'all, I think for them, I need to go back and like rewatch. But
we caught one or two.
The only thing I think y'all got to see was the like the sorry boo. He'll try that with who try it with, but it was a lot on and off camera, just like. And I didn't have that problem with anyone else. Literally, like, I love, everyone. And I didn't see her have that, that type of interaction with anyone else on the show. But, well, with any other.
So do you think do you think that you two saw each other as competitors, that she saw you as a competitor?
But this was before we even said, like, who our top was and even, like, did it. So maybe a competitor overall. It's hard for me to say that. Maybe, but I hadn't even, whenever I first noticed her acting away was even at the meet and greet, and before I even voiced having interest in Calfani. So I don't want to sound like, oh, well, because she saw I was interested in Calfani, then she started acting like that. It wasn't that. It was something that maybe I triggered something for her to start acting away towards me. So deep down, like I said, did I want her to go home? Yes, it was just because she was making it uncomfortable and she always had a slick comment, and it was just a lot for me. I don't like drama and extra stuff. But was that a deep diabolical plan to, not consciously. Like, I didn't do it intentionally, if that was it. Like I said, it was just that. Like, if that was the case, I would do it in front of everybody while we was eating. Like, well, Denise said this, I don't know, how do all the guys feel about it? Or I had all the guys around me. You know what I'm saying? It was just acceptable, and it was just that. But it was a lot of situations where she was a lot.
So before that point, I appreciate it as well for sharing that. Before that point, obviously there was a pool. You guys were in the pool where y'all playing a little game in the pool. What happened there? Because obviously you would say that. Like I said, obviously I see two competitors. You're competitive, she's competitive, Father competitive. There's a few competitive people here. What happened in the pool before that? Like, take us through your vision, what you were seeing, what you was interpreting.
I mean, that I don't. She's very competitive. My thing, you could have a whole team of competitive people, but we work together as a team. And she wasn't really a team player at that moment. She wanted the spotlight, I guess, and wanted to show that she was good. I don't think that was necessarily ill intent. I think that she just wanted that time to shine. So it's because she is an athlete. She did like shot put, so that she was hitting the ball, she was doing it. But it was just like I said, the comments more so, like, but only me and Simone could hear it. She's like, yeah, I'm doing everything myself. Like, all right, yeah, man, what y'all here for? And diving in the front, and it's just like, okay. But like I said, I don't think it was like a bad thing. I wanted to seem like I'm not trying to, because at the end of the day, I'm not trying to like just bash Denise. I don't think,
of course, yeah.
I don't think necessarily that she has a bad heart. And I don't think that she has bad intent. And if anything, like, I kind of feel like she doesn't realize the things that she does. And she doesn't realize that it's a problem, you know? She doesn't, she makes excuses for a lot of her stuff, and y'all will see that. But yeah, she never like admits that she's wrong. It's more so just because she doesn't have ill intent. So I think in not having ill intent, she sees herself not being wrong. But she to realize that, you know, the in between, just because you didn't mean to come across that way. If somebody's saying, hey, hurt me, this made me feel that way, you still have to realize, like, well, dang, and check yourself a little bit, like, dang, maybe I do need to switch that up.
I hear that. And then obviously you guys had a very interesting dynamic conversation where obviously you pulled it off for a chat. So let me be very frank, because I never lie. I said that was strategic. You know, you took us to the side. I mean, look, I'm psychology. So you took it to the side. You know what I'm saying? Everyone's going to see you lot going to the side. You have a conversation.
I would have been wrong too. If I would have said it while we were sitting in front of her, so then I take it to the side and I'm wrong. So it's like, I'm damned either way. And it's like, no.
You should
like, it was like,
just a little bit.
Like I said, maybe in the back of the head. But it's just the way I move. So like, I don't know, you know? And so, but at the same time, the way that the conversation had to go, it didn't have to go that way if she wouldn't have came at it with aggression. You know what I'm saying? So it could have actually turned, it didn't have to be a whole thing. It could have been, I pulled her to the side, we talked, everything was cool, and came back, nobody even noticed. But instead, since she met with aggression, and we were actually like y'all got to see a little bit of it, but it was even more than that, until the point where we were both like yelling at each other. And that's when everybody like turns around, like, what's going on? Yeah. And so when they turn around, and that kind of, then everyone is kind of involved now, because they're like, dang, they're yelling at each other, like, what's going on? But it didn't have to be that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it could have, when I went in, it was simply to be a conversation. One, yes, like, more people saw it as, oh, she's trying to defend Rashied and, you know, talk about Rashied. But it was both sides. I wanted to talk about the way that I wanted to talk to her one-on-one, like, hey, what's your problem with me? Like, why are you doing this, and why are you? Because it's early on. Like, we were early on. We still got a whole lot of time to still, and, you know, and way more to do in the process. I don't want this to be my whole experience. Have to worry about being around you, or, you know, not looking forward to that because you got some slick to say, you know? And so I wanted to talk about the issue that she had with me. And then I also wanted to bring the conversation, the Rashied thing to her, not to hear her side necessarily, but more so just, I don't want to be talking about it, you know, to whoever over here, and not bring it to her too. Like, hey, just so you know, this did rub me the wrong way, and this is how I feel about it, and try to, you know, someone understand it. But I'm not just going to be running around talking about you behind your back and not come and bring it to your face too. So you said, and so it was both sides of it. Y'all more so just got to see the Rashied side, but it was both like, hey, I feel like what you're doing is disrespectful, and you're disrespecting me. And also, I don't understand why you said this about Rashied. And, you know, maybe you're not realizing that you're saying stuff that doesn't make sense.
Did she consult you before apologizing on your behalf to Rashied on her date? I was mad confused, I'm not gonna lie. So I want to ask, did she speak to you, or?
I had no idea. No. And I had no idea. I saw it when y'all saw it. So I was like, Rashied didn't even tell me. Like, I had no idea. So I was like, oh, that happened. Okay. But like I said, she never, if y'all will see, she never apologizes for her actions. She always either deflects or points the finger at someone else. And like I said, it may be because she doesn't realize what she's doing. But she never does. It's always someone else's fault.
I rock it out. So obviously you're competitive. Denise is competitive. So let me paint a little picture. Obviously you guys are both liking Kafani. You have him in your top 2. She has him in the top 1. So obviously now there's a scenario where she's playing pool with Kafani.
I said, you said it's the top 1. She likes Anthony.
That's her top 1. That was her top 1. That's the top 1. Anthony was never part of the picture. I'm sorry. I don't know how much she said. Nah. It was never that for her, bruv. She was solely on Kafani. She liked him, but it was always going to be Kafani.
Oh, gosh. Okay. Go ahead.
Nah, I'm playing. But real spit though. Obviously, you had 2 connections, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. What I was gonna say was the pool situation. The pool, like playing pool. She was playing pool with Kafani. Yeah. So she was playing pool with Kafani. You came over, okay, and your words were, you didn't ask, you didn't suggest, you did not. You said, "I'm gonna take Kafani off your hands now." So I want to know
That
the
is not
thought
what I
process.
said. If you gonna say
You
it,
pretty
you
much
gotta
did,
say the
girl.
quote. But
Girl,
that is
you
not what I
asked.
said.
No, but did you ask,
I didn't.
Adriana? You
I
didn't ask.
asked. I said, what did I say? Something to the effects of like, dang it, you're supposed to know the quote, but I didn't say it like that. And I said, like, even like, you know, it's like, cool. Like, and I even in my thing too, like I even addressed her. Like I didn't even like, it's not like I walked up to Kafani and like grabbed his hands, like, come on, let's go. Like I was like, hey Denise, like is I'm about to, talk to him for a little bit, all right? Like, whatever. Like it was an open-ended statement. It wasn't a question, I guess. But I still addressed her. You know what I'm saying? It was way disrespectful ways, to go about that. And the only reason that I did that, like I said, the men weren't being as aggressive, one. Two, early on. Later on, they definitely step it up and they do more things. It was just early on, they were kind of, just kind of peeping the scene, seeing who likes them or whatever. But one, it was that, and two, Kelsani was a busy guy. If y'all remember on the first Tavern that we had,
Everybody
Shay was
liked
like,
Kafani.
he's everybody's favorite. Everybody like, because he was in everybody's top. And so what y'all don't see is he's literally on dates like with a lot of the girls, and not even necessarily real dates, but like, spending time with everyone. So it's kind of like you just got to get in where you fit in, you know what I'm saying, type thing. And so Denise had spent, a lot of time with him, like at the pool, like the actual pool, and in different times, and any chance that he was about, like if he was walking down the stairs, I don't know if she had a radar or something, but she would come out of nowhere and like hook his arm, and that's it, And so it's just like, hey, I want to make sure that he knows how I feel. Make sure that I'm here, I'm interested. Hello, whatever, because I know you're busy with, all your other. Everybody wants a piece of Cavani, and so I just wanted to make sure that he knew that. It was a quick conversation. It wasn't crazy. It wasn't, I took him and she never got away. I was like, all right, cool. All right, we done, and keep pushing. But you see, it wasn't like private, like nobody else was around. It was in the clubhouse. Like you see when I get.
Oh wait. Oh, we lost you for a sec there.
Are you? Wait, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hello?
Yeah,
okay,
I
there
can
we go.
see.
Okay. Yeah, I went
there
over.
We go. Yeah, sorry.
Okay, so but yeah, it wasn't like it was a private day. Like we were all in the clubhouse. Like you see whenever I get off the couch, like I think Shay's on one side of me, like Anthony or somebody's on the other side. Like everybody was there. It was a public thing, So it wasn't just like, they're having their private like kayaking date and I'm like over in the bushes, like, hey, let me get, it was an open setting. And so it was whatever. Was it bad? Maybe it was bad timing. I'll give that. Maybe I could have waited, until they finished the game, whatever. But I was just trying to like, hey, let me just tell him for 2 seconds and then y'all could finish whatever y'all doing. I'm about to go to sleep after this, whatever.
So wait, when they show us, it looks like it's all in one transition. So when you said obviously you wanted to take him away, did you have to wait and then take him after, or did you take him during the game?
I waited. They finished the game. But
okay, so they finished the game and then you got to take him.
It wasn't like, whatever. But yeah, like even like what y'all see, like they're pretty much almost done even when I go over there. Like I think they, they didn't have a lot of balls on the table if you even look. But yeah, and like I said, it was quick. It's not like I took them for the rest of the night. Like it was just like, hey, just wanted to make sure we're on the same page. We're good, whatever. Because y'all don't even see us have any other interaction.
Yeah,
like that's our first interaction that y'all see. You know what I'm saying? But we're both talking about liking each other, so it's like, well, how y'all like each other? You know what I'm saying? But we had talked a little bit before, but not enough. So
I hear that. Yeah. I hear that. No, I hear that. Listen, I personally thought, I'm gonna be honest, I think it was an act of war that you did. It was an act of war. I'm just listen. You were killing two birds, one stone. I'm gonna be very frank.
Okay.
You liked Kafani, which is not a problem. Yeah, I don't think anyone disagrees with that, right? And I didn't even necessarily disagree with the scene at the table. I described it as a review. It was an act of war, but I definitely believe it was an act of war because you didn't actually ask her. You told her. You said, listen, I'm taking Kafani for a few minutes. You didn't ask, which is an act of war.
I said I didn't. I said, is it cool
girl?
For a little bit.
Let me the receipts, girl.
You know,
you're competitive, and that's you competitive.
Yeah,
but that was an act of war.
Like I said, maybe sometimes when I watch you, I'm like, well, maybe I do. Like I said, I do it without thinking, and so that's why I said maybe I was wrong in a sense, but is at least what was going through my mind, you know, when I was doing it. I just wanted him to know that I was there. I wanted to know, you know, how he felt on the situation and whatever, and just keep it pushing. And then it was whatever, go ahead, you could go back, you know, whatever. But to me, it wasn't a disrespect because I acknowledge her. It's not like I just walked over to him and was like, hey, come on, you know, you coming over here, you know, or whatever. And at the end of the day, he's a grown man. If he didn't want to come over.
Yes, that's true. 100%. He obviously wanted to go.
He didn't have to. So
he obviously wanted to go, and I agree with that. So this is not. It was more. It's less of a blame. Actually, I wasn't saying you actually in the wrong. I was just wanted you to see that this is an act of war. You just went over there and took him. You didn't ask. You took him. The brother. Listen. Obviously, he had to agree. He had to agree because obviously he liked you, so he's going to agree. But it was an act of war. So I mean, because obviously we're seeing it from a linear perspective. Obviously, it's not so much linear for you because we're seeing the episode where she said something in the tavern, then obviously suddenly then we get to see you guys with the pool table, etc. So it looks all in linear. I'm sure the things that will happen in between. Let me talk about the situation where you guys are sitting on the sofa, because after the pool situation where you're sitting on the sofa, sis, I think let me be very frank. I think that was one of the most if you were a footballer, it's a beautiful goal you just scored right now. It's a touchdown you just played because the way you wanted to get Kafani to, like, you got that boy to be wrapped around your finger, you know. Girl, what you mean, girl? You asked him baited questions. You know, I like you. You listen, you know, I like you. And you put a little voice, you know, I like you. And you knew exactly what you were doing, sis. No. It's okay. You can take a hold of it. I put you up there. I said, listen, this is a great game. Would you agree? Would you disagree? What would you say? Okay, what was your viewpoint of that scenario when you were sitting on the chair, leg upon his leg, you know, you were cotched in his armpit? What would you say was your thought process?
I was just enjoying the moment.
With those big arms.
I was just in his arms. They just so happened to be open. I don't know. It wasn't a thing. It wasn't a thing. Like I said, I didn't have a strat. Now, maybe I did in the back of my mind, but I never in the whole process had a strategy. This was just me being me. Now, if naturally I am strategic and competitive, potentially, but it wasn't in my mindset like, oh, well, I'm about to, you know, take them, snuggle up with them, and it's like, okay, here you go, girl. No, it was just like, that's how it happened, and that's how the conversation goes. She didn't have to sit there and watch and sit in the corner. Like, she could have went and found Anthony was down there. Go talk to him, or go talk to a lady, do whatever. But nobody told you to go sit in the corner and be salty and watch. What are you doing? Like, stop it. You know, like even with the last episode, like when we'd probably get to it, but when we're on the couch and she's like, to keep it cute, you know, but she walked by, I didn't say nothing. It was all right, cool, stay together, cool. I'm gonna make sure, you know, I'm checking my other connections too. She could have did the exact same thing, but instead you gotta walk by and say something slick and whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like nobody's forcing you to act anyway. Let's say that I am doing stuff strategically and I am doing whatever. Like, it doesn't give her a reason to be so crazy. Like, you know what I'm saying? And the stuff that she says in confessional, you know, I had no idea. Like, she was just going so ham. It's like, bro, like, it's a dating show, so we're dating, you know? Like, regardless, like, nobody owns anyone. Nobody is in a relationship. Ain't nobody married with anyone. We're here to date. So that's what we're doing. You know what I'm saying? And I think the beauty of the show, although, like, we may look at it like, you know, some people call it a competition or, you know, whatever. At the end of the day, the beauty of it, it forces you to do uncomfortable things in a sense of, normally I would have just went straight with Rashied and just ran forward. Like, if it was real life, like, you know, you like somebody and then it's like, y'all vibing. Okay, that's the only person I want to talk to. I'm gonna stop talking to everybody else and that's it, because I'm putting all my eggs here, you know? And that's what we do. And I feel like sometimes that puts us in bad situations. It's forcing us to, you know what? Yeah, I like him, but let me see what else I got over here. You know, what other potential things? Because sometimes you could be missing out on your other blessing.
I agree with that. I agree with that. I mean, I do think the show reflects a lot of what we do because you know in real life you have less barriers, so you don't see what the other person's doing. You know what I mean? You don't know they're dating someone else. You don't know who they're talking to.
Right.
You just do what you do, right?
Right.
And I think the show just exposes all of us on how we actually operate on a dating field, which is many of us are blessed. Some of us are blessed, like yourself, will have many suitors, and that gives you power. Kafani is exactly the same. He will have many suitors. He will have a lot of power when it comes to choosing and deciding. So I can understand some of the things that were happening. Obviously, the latest episode, obviously, when you were sitting on the couch again and you were caught in the armpit again, that armpit seems to be very nice for you. You know what I'm saying? It's warm there for you, sis. You know what I'm saying? You was in the bosom. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, Denise does come past and says what she says. I mean, at that point, we're at episode 7. At that point, what's now your sentiment and your feeling? Because you did say in that scene that you know you don't want to cause trouble. You know, saying should you go? I mean, I personally think that was a very slick line. You knew what you was doing there, but you know what you're doing, girl.
I'm just a nice person.
You are.
Okay. Well,
there's nothing wrong with you, smart girl.
Yeah.
You know how to get us.
So, like we were actually that in that scene, we were talking for probably like 4+ hours. Like we were talking for a long time. Like with him, the conversation really just flows. He's a good
that long.
Like it was literally sun up, sundown. Like it was crazy. And so when we're talking and then she comes by, I already know that it's gonna be an issue because we already know how she feels about him and how kind of you know how she feels. And so I told him that because I literally would have been okay with it. Like, hey, you know, we've had our time. I know that she probably wants to spend some time with you, you know, go, like, it's cool. You know, like you could go ahead and go to eliminate any problems. Like I want it to be cool for everybody. You know, I didn't want it to be any extra. It doesn't have to be extra. You know what I'm saying? And so that's why I said what I said. But he was like, I'm cool where I'm at. So I was like, well, what do you do?
I mean, he was cool where he was at. I ain't gonna lie to you. He was happy to be there. So,
so it's like,
no beef with him.
I don't know.
Can I ask a question? You don't have to answer it. You can curve it if you want.
Okay, let's see.
Was part of you like when she got a little bit stressed? Were you like, yeah, don't know? Like, was a part? I mean, it was a little bit of a tinge in you, just like, yeah, good.
Like, it was like,
you know, I mean, because you know, like,
no,
you know, that's you. I'm not saying that you guys are beefing on every day or anything, but that is your competition. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and your competition is now sweating because you're literally having a conversation. So, I mean, you know,
it is what it is. It is what it is.
It is what it is. I like that curve. It is what it is. I'll leave it as that. That's cool. Okay, so obviously you had a connection with Kafani, and you actually just said something that we didn't actually know. So you guys obviously were having much deep conversation. We did not see that at all.
Right, exactly. And so like that is something that I'm a little like. I mean, I can't say that part. But that is something thus far that I don't like, because even with, especially with like Morgan saying the lustful thing, you know, and in my defense with that, I describe both of them physically first. Like even when Rashied walking up, if you notice, I'm like, oh, he's tall. Bald head, whatever, and he's walking up. And then I did the same thing with Kafani, but our conversation was cut short because she had to go. Like, you know, we had during our filming, she had to go. So she didn't get to really hear, you know, the real stuff. You know what I'm saying? So, and after meeting Rashied and him answering every question right, it was kind of like, well, if I'm choosing between the two as your friend, of course I'm gonna go with the one that I just got to actually talk to and, you know. But anyway, yeah, all y'all get to see is like when I'm all curled up under him, rubbing on his muscles and stuff, and y'all don't get to see like we actually have like deep and real conversation and we both click. Like I'm a Virgo, he's a Taurus, so like we're both chill and like our conversation literally just flowed. Like it was just really, really dope, and it seemed like we really had a great understanding.
I hear that, because obviously, like I said, I think when we watched it, we saw that obviously he described it. It just showed us you describing his physical attributes, and then we did. So we're already assuming that like she ain't really got much. By the way, Morgan's very beautiful. I love my girlfriend.
Everybody, I told her she shut everything down. Everybody was like, where she was going on. She's actually engaged.
I saw the ring, so I didn't. I was looking. I was like rewinding, like
everything. You know this.
Huh? I watch everything. So that's why I left it as that. But I saw the ring on her finger. So I was like,
she's great.
God bless the man. So obviously you had a connection both Kafani and Rashied then. So does it get awkward having to because we just saw the scene where he walks past you guys are playing a game. Does it get awkward having those two people in there and then seeing that?
At first it wasn't. Like at first I feel like even I don't want to speak for Rashied, I guess. I mean, you're talking to him. But I think for both of us, like it wasn't in the beginning because we knew what we signed up for. Like we knew what it, like everybody, you're gonna be talking to different people. Like it's not always gonna be us, But as time passes and emotions start growing and things like that, it does start to get uncomfortable. To see. To see. And I can even see. Yeah. Yeah. To answer your question.
I understand. You can't say too much. Sorry.
I was on a whole spill, but
yeah, I know. Obviously, this episode you also kissed Kafani as well. Sorry. He kissed you. Yeah, in this episode, girl, did I make it up? You gotta make me think about myself. Like, yo, did I see that? Yeah, you guys were on the couch. We're having a little intimate moment. I saw your little body was telling you, listen, Kafani, make that move, innit? He was not trying to lean away. He was like, listen, Kafani, make the move. You know what I'm saying? What led up to that moment then? So like before you got to that point, what was happening? Because we just saw you guys on the couch. He's talking. He's not leaning in.
The Tiki date. That's what we had on like that.
Okay.
That was right after the Tiki date. We did that and we were out on the water. That was really it was. I wish I could have seen more of it. It was really really cool. And it was just he was so sweet. Like one little some things you didn't get to see on the Tiki date, and with it, I told him. Remember, I said like I'm an acts of service. Well, I didn't say.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember. I was so pissed.
Oh, they killed you for that. I'm not gonna let you know. They really killed you for that. It was like. I should not remember love languages. I was like,
I would have drugged me too for that. Like low key, like how you gonna bring it up and you can't even answer it? But yeah. So anyway, so I'm an acts of service person, and so I say that, and then like another time we were talking, and I told him like if I would say I like Skittles, like I like Skittles, whatever, and we say that, and we're on the Tiki boat. And he's like, I got something for you. And we're just, off in the water, whatever. And I'm like, what you got for me? And he pulls out his pocket a bag of Skittles. And I was like,
funny.
I know.
Player in and out, love it.
Like I never got happy for like a 25-cent bag of Skittles. So it was sweet, and so like we had that, and we just had great conversation on the boat too. And for the most part, even though Winter and Brian were there too, we
I don't know what was going on there too.
Yeah. We were having like
great. He was having a good moment, yeah.
Right. So that's where y'all see us like we leave from that and go straight to the couch and we start talking some more. And but I don't know, obviously the physical attraction is there, already, and the tension, I think you said it in one of them, like I think you could see it, I could feel it, like the sexual tension is definitely very high too. Just because it's like natural when you're so highly attracted to someone and y'all are vibing and talking and keep in mind we're seeing each other every day. We're talking every day, and as people are going home, you get to talk for longer times and get to spend more time with each other and find out even more about each other. Without the outside distractions, you're having real conversations that you probably wouldn't with somebody in real life this soon. So it's definitely a whole vibe there. So we just sitting there talking, and then when he did it, I was just like, it was great.
No, you wasn't. Come on, girl. You was like,
No, that was that eye. That was No, it was great. It was definitely a whole thing. Yeah.
Obviously, I'm just trying to remember myself up into episode 7. How'd you kiss Rashied? How'd you kiss Rashied though? Yeah. Has Rashied kissed you? Should I say? Has Rashied kissed you? That's what I should be asking.
Yes, he did.
Okay. I don't think we got saw that. Did we get to see that? I don't think we got to see that.
Just a little bit. It was at the Jenga. When we played the Jenga game with Denise, Anthony, Alex, and Brian.
Okay, so we saw that little part. But after that, we didn't see anything else after that. I don't think they showed us anything else.
No,
Him kissing with him.
it sucks because we were like, it was equal. Like literally, like most of the time, even I would have a date with both of them in the same day. You know, like we were spending, or not. I won't say date, but like we're all together. You know, like in like Rashied in the mornings would go look at the water, and like sometimes I would meet him out there, and we would go on the water and just talk about life and blessings, that kind of stuff. So we had other moments, but it's just y'all didn't really get to see it.
Up until episode 7, what was the best date that you had?
Episodes that were I would say that I don't know because they were different kinds. Like, because I kind of consider Rashied meeting Morgan as a date too, because it felt natural. It felt like we was at home on a Sunday, you know, like whatever, like it was just a normal talk. Like it just felt cool, and the whole thing y'all can't see, but like we're rubbing each other's leg because it's just like, oh, like cool, you know. But the Tiki date that I had with Calfani was cool. But honestly, I wouldn't say the date, just the conversations that I was having with both of them outside of dates, just the general conversations were better than any date at that point.
Who's like, so when these dates are going on, do like people just approach people and then go on a date on the show? Like, how does it actually work for you guys? Or you just anyone can free for all basically?
I don't know.
You can't say. I hate you. Be the fifth, no way.
But in the outside of what I can say, say, that's what whenever I was fussing at the guys and y'all didn't get to see, it's probably a good thing. Y'all probably would have thought I was crazy. But whenever I was fussing at them, like the ones that I kind of homeboyed, I was like, you know, in wanting them to be more aggressive. Just because you can't go on like an excursion date or something, you know, big, elaborate, pulling somebody in a corner or just walking off, you know, and talking to someone on the bench and looking at the water. Like we're at this beautiful place. Like just, you know, take me out on a dock and we do whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's the simple things. You don't have to do a big extravagant thing.
I hear that. Okay, so it's real. So real. This obviously you had some, like I said, you was obviously my favorite personally because I feel like you was playing a smart game. Okay, yeah. I know you don't admit it. But he was playing a smart game. All right, he was utilizing all the skills. In the actual show, obviously, with Rashied, when you kissed Simone, because obviously now, you know, he had seen you playing tic-tac-toes with old Kafani now. Obviously, now he's obviously gone and kissed Simone. When you watch that back, I don't know if you knew that at the time, how did that make you feel watching that in episode 7?
I actually saw it as I just so happened they didn't like the camera luckily didn't see my face whenever because I just happened to be walking by, like passing by where they were, and I was like, oh, this is a whole like shebang. And then like I just so happened to walk as they're kissing, and it just, you hear birds chirping and it's a whole thing. I was just like, oh, okay, you know. It was kind of like a did I feel a way? I don't want to say like I felt a way or like I was jealous or anything like that, because I know what we signed up for. But that was my first time seeing him have a connection with somebody else other than me. You know what I'm saying? And so it was like a realization too, like, hey, don't sleep, you know? Like just being real, like, you know, don't sleep because other people do want him. And although I knew it, and like I said, I heard it in the tavern where, you know, Alex and Simone, you know, say that they're in his top, but I'm like, I never really, like, I saw them talking, but it was just, you know, normal conversation, you know, whatever, charming, yay, everything's cute. But to see like a full date and to see them kissing, it was kind of like, oh, okay, oh, y'all vibing, oh, okay, cool, you know. And but it wasn't like I said, it wasn't a jealous feeling. It was more just like okay, well, I really need to make sure I'm checking myself and my actions and how I'm moving between even both of them. You know what I'm saying?
I'm hearing that. Let me ask you a side question. Complete aside, ready to love. I just got to ask you a question. You eat cereal? Do you eat cereal? Is it really cereal? Okay. Do you put the milk in first or the cereal first? It's just a side question. I have to ask this question. Make sure you're not crazy.
Cereal? Go first.
You put the milk in first?
No, cereal. Who puts the milk in first?
Wait, what? You put the cereal in first?
Yeah.
You're one of them odd people, you know. Everyone puts the milk in first.
No, that's weird. That's very weird.
You put the cereal in first?
That's what you're supposed to do. If not, it's gonna overflow. Like, I want the most cereal. That's the most important part.
I'm gonna ask Rashied and Kafani if that's what they do. Make sure you lot are compatible.
You put the milk first?
What? I'm the one here asking the questions, girl.
Okay.
So oh, about what I do, girl. No, I'll put the cereal first. I have to ask that question in it. Okay, so bring you back onto the case. I just wanted to see back into the case now. So obviously, Kafani, what? So obviously, because we didn't get touched here, so I know you guys talk a lot. What qualities does Kafani have that draws you to him?
Just, and you said it in the first. It was, yeah, you did a great job. Like in the first, when we did the where you did the review of all of our personalities and the type, like describing all of us, you know, just based off our intro, and you were so right. Like, I don't know if it comes from him being a trainer or what, but just his conversation. He's I don't want to even say smooth talker because it doesn't come across as game, you know, but he's just such a great talker and understanding. Like, it's like we could talk about, like, obviously, if we're talking for 4 hours plus, like, we're talking about everything.
Conversation.
You know what I'm saying? Whether it's religion or future goals or our childhood or whatever, like, and he just he makes you feel comfortable, like, you know, and it's like you understand, you know, and it was like our little inside joke that we had, like, you know, the her song Comfortable. That was like our inside thing, because it was just like we felt so comfortable with each other and like we understood each other so much.
Damn. What was okay, so obviously I'm gonna skip quickly and come back. The Tavern for you ladies. What was your experience like? So aside obviously Denise situation, what was your experience of the Tavern? Like, when you girls get together, you know, you're gonna have your little chin wag, your little chit chat, you know, style. What was your experience of the Tavern and how was it like?
I don't get it. What do you mean?
Like, how was it like? How was your experience of it? Like, you guys get together, ladies get together, you discuss. I know you can't say too tough, but obviously you discuss your ones and twos. I mean, what is that like? I mean, because obviously you're discussing who you like in front of someone else who potentially could be liking the same person that you're liking. So, I mean, what was your kind of feelings at the time when you're having to do those kind of, I guess, feedbacks and stuff?
It didn't bother me at all. It was cool. It like, you would think it would be awkward. For me, it wasn't awkward. The only times I will say that the time that it was awkward, sometimes I felt like when some people would talk, I guess I could just be frank. Whenever Denise would talk about Kafani, intentionally, she would say certain things like, you know, everybody sees that we're vibing.
Everybody sees it. Yeah, we saw that.
Physical level. I mean, on a spiritual level. And it's like, do they? And if so, like, what do you know what I'm saying? It was just extra feelings. And to me, that was kind of like a move for her to, like, hey, just so you know, like, y'all might be vibing, but we are too. Like, we got our stuff over here too. You know what I'm saying? And so I respect that. I get that. Like, that's cool. You know, but that would be the only time that it was awkward. Minus that, like, it would just be like, okay, you know, it's like, okay, cool, you know, noted, you know. But it gets, like I said, that's one of them too that gets, it does get a little uncomfortable as time goes on. At first, it's just, oh, we like the same person. Oh, okay, that's cool. Oh, I can see y'all together. But then as time, like, and the conversation is now like, oh, we kissed, we shared a kiss, and we shared this passionate conversation and all that. It does start to kind of make you like, oh, well, we kissed and shared a, you know, passionate conversation. So it's like, then you looking at each other like that. So, yeah.
I don't know if you know, as I'm listening to you talk, when you talk about Rashied and Kafani, you have different reactions.
Oh my God.
Your eyes, listen, when you start talking about Kafani, your eyes do this. You're like, so Kafani, and then the eyes go really big, you know. I don't know. I mean,
I'm gonna close them now.
I'm gonna go to the audience and get some questions from them. I know they've been burning.
Get the questions. Pause it. I gotta get my charger.
Yeah, you go do that. We're gonna get the questions. You go and pause it, guys. We're gonna just a quick break so she can go and get what she needs. Someone's put the cereal first. Good smart person. Yes. Someone asked me why did I ask that in between question. It's psychological, man. To reset people. Trust me, man. But anyway, so the questions that you've seen, I can see some questions coming in for the last few minutes of the interview. Whew, Chile, boy. It's been a conversation, you know, guys. It's been deep. It's been insightful. You know what I'm saying? We've been blessed, you know, and you guys have been blessing us too. So we're gonna ask some questions in the last section. So why did she go? Oh, Gwen, we really asked that, you know. Really asked that, you know. How's your arm, Adriana? Anyway, how's your arm?
You know, I'm trying to.
Is it burning?
I'm using my knee now to like lean it on it.
Listen, you got a few minutes left. You got a few
my
minutes
workout
left.
today on this one arm.
You got your few minutes. You got a few minutes left. Don't worry, sis. We're gonna get you out here. Don't worry. So we got a few questions that we've got here. Let me go to the question section. Okay. First question. First question is from Brittany F. Says, who did she think her competition would be in the beginning? So who did you think would be your competition in the beginning?
I didn't think anyone would be.
Girl.
I'm serious. It's just my mindset. It's not in like a cocky way, like, oh, I don't have any competition. It's not like that. Just my mindset is I'm gonna just be me. And either he's gonna like it or he's not. There's nothing that I can do. So I don't look at someone else and like, dang, she got a bigger butt, or oh, she's super intelligent. Maybe he'll like you're start downing yourself and play yourself in your head and not realize, you know, the things that you bring to the table and who you are. So I don't think about other people.
I appreciate that. Another question here is they said, do you think winning is more important than the chase?
Wait, what chase? I'll get the chase.
I don't know. I'm guessing maybe they mean relationship wise. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, you are pretty good at Connect 4. I mean,
I love Connect 4.
you had a brother in two-way tricks twice.
Yes, that's me. That's my favorite game. I'm not sure on the question.
I'll ask her to clarify. Don't worry, we'll get another one. A bit more straightforward, guys. Let's see. Oh, cool. Good question. Did she have conversation about finances with the two guys? Oof.
We did. Oh wait, that's actually I think gonna be the next episode.
Okay, let's next one then.
So,
I don't need a lawsuit. Next one.
But I don't think what I can say, I don't think it wasn't it didn't turn into like a Chris and Naya situation. It was just a conversation.
The Chris and Naya situation was serious though. So yeah. Guys, is that all the questions you got? You lot had chest for me all week. And you're telling me all the questions you got. They had so much chest for me. Asking this, asking that. You know what I mean?
Oh, one thing that I will say, I saw some people were asking, and we might have kind of touched on it a little bit in general, but they were saying that do I only like Calfani because of Denise? And
oh yes,
and no. Like at the end of the day, like everyone had connections with someone else. You know what I'm saying? I think because of the animosity between me and Denise, it may to some people be perceived that way. But I mean, he's an amazing guy. He's, you know, obviously I'm attracted to him physically, and once we got to spend time together to really like him, period. For the same reason that she likes him, it would be the same for me, you know? So it's not a thing of, oh, I'm gonna waste my time talking to him to make Denise mad. My life doesn't really fall around Denise. Like, I'm here to find love and find a connection. So that's what I'm doing.
There is a question that's on my mind. That is, remember, Raymond. Because obviously all of us were like, Adriana, where you going?
Right.
Man
right.
got 5 kids, blue. So what was you seeing behind that? Because obviously we were looking at it like it's mad, but yeah, go for it, sis.
Right. It wasn't from a me trying to fight for Raymond wasn't a thing of in a romantic way. It was like I just thought Raymond was a cool dude. Like he out of a lot of the guys, he was just chill, and he was just very like, his conversation was great. He knew what he wanted, you know. And like before we started talking about the marriage thing,
yeah, that was it.
He was like, you know, I've lived and I've had different experiences. I've been in different relationships, obviously having 5 kids and being in it. I think he's 52. You know what I'm saying? Like he's had buku relationships and different experiences to the point where he knows the things that didn't work and did work. And I just applauded him for even admitting, I was like, well, in your last relationships, why didn't it work? And he was like, that was me. That was all me. Like, you know, and I just applauded him for doing that, because people don't do that, you know, owning up to their part in a breakup or whatever may happen. So it wasn't for me to have a romantic connection with him necessarily. It was more so because I was like, other women were letting the 5 kids get in the way. Like, and it's all like 24. So I'm not saying kids won't be around, you know, but it's not like you got to raise them, you know, or anything like that. And some of the other ladies didn't want to have any more kids or have any kids at all. So it's kind of like, you might be missing out on a connection because you're only looking at this one thing. So I was just trying to vouch for him as a person.
I feel that. Oh, you're good peoples. 1 or 2 questions left now. Vanessa asks, do you think a woman counsel would benefit the show? So like, I guess maybe like female Tommy maybe or something like that, I guess maybe, or
sometimes. I mean, I think Tommy does a good job of, you know, keeping it real for both of us. But sometimes I do wish that, you know, in the guys' tavern even that, you know, it was like just the female perspective. Sometimes Tommy does a great job though, and he'll check them, you know, if they say something that isn't right, do something, you know, that balance. Right. But sometimes I think the guys need that female perspective too, and that coaching, so they can even know how to approach us and talk to us.
I respect that. That's real right there. I guess one last question we'll ask. There's 2 questions similar anyway, so we can ask that. Oh, actually, one more I wanted to hear. It says, do you have any regrets on how you moved during the show? I guess only up to episode 7. So up until episode 7, do you regret anything at the moment that you're seeing?
I don't want to say, I don't think I regret anything. I think everything I did, I would probably do it again. It is some stuff that I feel like, some things that I don't like whenever I go back and I watch it. I feel like y'all don't get to see my full personality. But keep in mind, you know, they only have 37 minutes and they have to squeeze in all these connections and all these dates and all these things. But I feel like the audience doesn't get to see like the true connections and see my full personality to really, you know, understand and really see where we're coming from. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that with a lot of us, you know, in general. So that's the only thing that like I kind of don't like about it. But as far as how I acted from what I know happened, no, I don't regret anything. I just hate what y'all get to see sometimes.
I respect that. I'll leave those questions for now. Adriana, last thing I want to say is, could you tell us what the tattoo on your shoulder says and what it means?
So it's 1 Corinthians 15:10. And it's by the grace of God, I am what I am. And his grace that was bestowed upon me was not in vain, for I worked harder than them all, not I, but God working through me.
Beautiful.
It's my favorite stuff. And I got it when I was like 20. So I was like, I want it right here.
Just to let you guys know, that is my favorite scripture. Not because like Adriana's my favorite character, but genuinely is actually my favorite scripture. I was telling them about behind the scenes. If you guys watch my Christian videos that I do, that is a scripture I go to every single time.
Oh, really? You talk about it even other times too?
Oh yeah. Listen,
I've literally never heard anyone else. Like nobody has ever heard of it. That's why. Yeah.
Do you know why? Because they don't know about that scripture, bro. They have to come up. They're not here. You know what I'm saying? They're not about that. They're not about that. All right, guys. I hope you guys have enjoyed my conversation with Adriana. It's been a really blessed conversation. Thank you for even joining us and being open and frank with your experiences. Oh no,
I try to be as much as
I know. None of us want to get a lawsuit. I mean, I like my life.
Right.
I like our life.
We love everything.
You know what I'm saying? We love y'all.
It was a great experience, and I'm happy that that you chose to be, in a sense, you're like a commentator for us, and you get to bring things to light, and I appreciate you for that too.
I appreciate that. Well, oh, sorry. One last thing. What did you get out of the show? So sorry, I should have asked you that. Last question. What did you get out of the show? What experience did you get out of it? Without going too deep. Or what did you learn, I should say?
I don't know. I don't know. It was a different experience. And just a learning experience, even in a sense of learning how to control your emotions. And not like as far as, emotions as far as like liking someone and seeing it, and just the realization of it. And naturally you check yourself in a lot of the situations, you know what I'm saying? And in your feelings, like, why am I feeling this way? Why am I liking him so much? Why am I not liking him enough? Why am I feel this way toward her? Like, you naturally check yourself. And so it was definitely a learning experience, I feel like, for everyone in that way.
I appreciate it. Guys, whew, we've come to the end. Yeah, I would sing, Boys to Men, but I don't want to do them just in So, Adriana, thank you so much for joining me. I really do appreciate you. Keep being a light in your community as well. And hopefully we get to see you soon. Maybe I'll even invite you again, have a chat, in the future. You know what I'm saying? We don't know what could happen in the next few weeks. So, you know what I'm saying? But I appreciate you so much. Thank you. Guys, please be blessed. Stay safe. All right, Adriana? We appreciate
you. Bye. Thank you.
Safe, guys. Before I go, guys, just to say, guys, I don't let it go. You know, silly. Listen, guys, look, you guys got to make sure you watch this again for some of the gems. If you miss some of the questions, like why she ghosted Rashied, go and look at it again. She answered all those kind of questions. You get what I'm saying? And yes, guys, watch for the next one. I got Rashied coming up as well. Appreciate you guys. Stay locked, stay loaded. Goodbye.